Welcome back, ProGuides fam. It's Dan with a long-awaited video. Okay, maybe you specifically weren't waiting for this, but you've been waiting to see this and just didn't know it yet. This is a topic we always hear discussed vaguely and never in depth. What is it? Well, come on, you read the title, it's armor. We're talking about any and everything related to armor and answering viewer questions. Watch and you'll understand how to improve and adjust your item builds for any hero. But first, our question of the day. If your favorite Dota team approached you and asked you to join as the Water Boy, or Water Woman, that just sounds like a superhero. What was I saying? Oh yeah, well, if they asked you to join as the Water person, how would you respond? I'm not gonna steal your thunder on this one. Let's hear what you all have to say instead. Armor is a stat that alters the amount of physical damage a target receives. Every structure and organism in the game has armor. The only things aren't affected by armor are units considered the ward type. So actual observer and sentry wards and fixed hit to kill targets like Phoenix Egg, Undying Tombstone, and Weaver Bugs. Armor works in conjunction with damage modifiers such as the damage type or abilities like Bristleback that provide damage reduction in order to determine how much physical damage is dealt. Armor comes from agility, bonus armor items, or abilities. And lastly, the hero in question's starting armor. 6 points of agility amounts to 1 armor. So if you buy 2 slippers of agility, you'll gain exactly 1 armor. You can have a fraction of armor, even though it doesn't show on the HUD. So if you have 1 slippers of agility, you'll gain half an armor point. Bonus armor is the value shown by your plus green armor number on the HUD by the shield. The white armor number is your base armor. Trigger warning! Algebra! Wait, don't leave the video. I promise the formula is very easy. The average Dota player is a gaming genius anyway. I'm sure you'll understand it right away. The equation is 0.06 times armor divided by 1 plus 0.06 times armor. So we'll do an example. Let's say a hero has 10 armor. 0.06 times 10 is 0.6. Now we divide that by 1 plus 0.6. So what's 0.6 divided by 1.6? 375. That is the amount of physical damage reduction your armor is providing, 37.5%. The full damage formula does call for 1 minus that number, so if we do 1 minus 0.375, we get 0.625. This result is how much physical damage the target takes, but if you just want to determine how much your armor is reducing, it's unnecessary. And just so we're super clear, let's say a hero deals 224 attack damage. Just take 224 and multiply it by 0.375. 224 times 0.375 is 84. So a 10 armor hero is reducing 84 damage from each attack. Easy, right? Any armor value at all works with this formula, even if it's negative armor. Just do 0.6 times armor, then divide that answer by 1 plus whatever you just got in the first step. Okay, we're done there. So the million-dollar question, does stacking armor lead to diminishing returns? The answer is no, but. So because the first point of armor reduces damage by 5.66% and the 20th only reduces it by 1.28%, it might seem to be the case that stacking armor gets worse. It does not, because in Dota, most such equations amplify multiplicatively. So for example, let's say you buy 4 hoods. Should you have 100% magic resistance? No, not even close. If it did, then every hood would be reducing damage by much more than 25%. It reduces your damage received by 25%. So the 20th point of armor is effectively increasing your HP against physical damage the exact same as the first. In summary, every point of armor increases your effective HP against physical damage by 6%. We said the answer was no, but so it's not that armor looks bad the more you buy, it's more that HP starts to look a lot better once we have a lot of armor. Or conversely, armor looks a lot better once we have a lot of HP. Also, no game has all physical damage. Most games have well over 50% magical or pure damage. What are damage types? How does armor affect these? Everything that can deal damage fits into one of 4 damage types: hero, basic, piercing, and siege. These 4 categories provide additional damage modifiers that are key to balancing the game. There used to be a few more types, but they have been removed for simplicity's sake. Frankly, it would take too much time for this video to explain everything that fits into every type. Surely, heroes do hero damage, true, but also ancient creeps, but not all ancient creeps, and also certain jungle creeps, and even some summons, even though most summons deal piercing. Let's tackle them in order from easiest to hardest to understand. Siege damage is dealt by siege creeps and the fountain. It deals normal damage to heroes and creeps. So if a catapult reads as having 50 damage and attacks a hero, the normal armor formula is applied, and that's the end of it. Siege damage deals 2.5 times to towers. Piercing damage is dealt by plague wards, range creeps, and undying zombies. It deals half damage to heroes, 1.5 times to creeps, and 0.35 times to towers. Beastmaster boars are no longer piercing and instead are hero-type damage. Basic damage is dealt by melee creeps, lichen wolves, enigmas, eidolons, and a small majority of jungle creeps. Basic damage deals 0.75 times to heroes, normal to creeps, and 70% to towers. Hero damage is dealt by heroes and any other summon or even ward type not mentioned previously. It deals 100% to heroes, 100% to creeps, and 50% to towers. So it's the same as siege damage except deals way less to towers. The armor formula has changed at least 3 times throughout the history of Dota. In the recent past, it was the same format as the current one, 0.052 instead of 0.06 as the multiplier. If we take the 10 armor example like from before, it used to reduce 34% compared to 37% now. This was a buff to armor. Additionally, it used to take 7 points of agility, not 6 for a point of armor. In total, there is a lot more armor available these days compared to recent years. There are a few angles to consider to answer this question. The most obvious is how much physical damage does the enemy team deal? A lot, then buy more armor. If not, avoid armor. Less obvious is how much of their magic damage is actually killing me. For example, if you're playing carry and are avoiding teamfight for a while, you'll be taking vast majority magic damage. This is because magic damage tends to be non-committal or longer range. Very few physical damage abilities will harass you past the laning stage. It is entirely possible to be taking 100% magic damage during the mid-game as a hard farmer. Because of this, you may assume, hey, I'm taking no physical damage, so I don't need any armor. Well, you are playing carry in this example, and carries are usually agility heroes with high armor growth, so you might be right. But if the enemy has a phantom assassin who is also hard farming during the mid-game, you have to realize that the damage that will actually kill you isn't a problem for you, yet will be later. How well can the enemy control me? If their disable is proving to be a big issue, then we have to prioritize BKB over more armor no matter the damage breakdown. That goes primarily for position 1 and 2 though. If you're a support or offlane, you only want to get BKB in very specific scenarios or if you have a channeled spell. The reason for this is you actually want the spells to be cast on you if you're the offlane, and if you're support, you would rather rely on your positioning and buy items to help your cores instead of yourself. If the enemy can't control you well, but still deals a lot of magical damage, like in the case of Venomancer and Zeus, then a great option for right-clickers is Satanic. Satanic provides healing so long as you're hitting. No matter how much damage over time they do, it's all useless so long as you do enough damage without being stunned. The last question is mainly for supports and dedicated casters like Zeus and Tinker. And that question is, how good is Ghost Scepter here? Against the right matchup, Ghost Scepter is the biggest impact item you can buy for only 1500 gold. Ghost Scepter will make you completely immune to all physical damage. It's so backbreaking against heroes like TA that we've seen pros go Dagon on TA to counter Ghost Scepter. Armor is naturally less good the less HP you have, and you usually have very low HP as these sorts of heroes, so Ghost Scepter is the ideal option against heavy physical damage. Assault Cuirass, Shiva's Guard, E-Blade, Butterfly for late game, Ring of Protection, and Wraithband for early game. Pro tip, you can just type in armor in the shop to see every armor option. On paper, there's no difference. Both reduce damage exactly the same. The differences come from interaction between abilities. Elder Titan's Natural Order removes all of an enemy's base armor. Therefore, bonus armor becomes way more valuable against Elder Titan. Same goes for Drow Ranger's Ultimate, which only ignores base armor. Currently, there is no ability or interaction that favors base armor over bonus armor. For a brief moment, Luna's Lunar Blessing did amplify base armor only, but it doesn't work like that anymore. There are a lot of interactions that favor base damage though. No, the idea behind this myth is that if Slardar reduces a hero with only base armor, then Elder Titan will still set them to 0 armor, completely wasting Slardar's corrosive haze. This is not how it works. You still get full value from both abilities. Same goes for any current minus armor interactions. Fun fact, this didn't used to be true for Heart Piercer. Heart Piercer was Pangolier's original passive, and it actually did have anti-synergy with other sources of armor reduction. Terrorblade is both the best level 1 and level 30 armor. For this question, we're also considering armor talents and armor granting abilities. Technically, the most correct answer is Monkey King with 25 armor talent when ult is active, but that's only for a small period of time. Other heroes with amazing armor include Naga Siren, Ogre, and Bounty Hunter for early levels, Bloodseeker, Gyrocopter in late game, and Dragon Knight. The heroes with the worst armor and no natural way to make up for it are Skywrath Mage, Pudge, Phoenix, Husker, Keeper of the Light, and Shen. Alright, thanks so much for watching, everybody. I hope you feel like a smarter player from all of this. Apply this knowledge and your item builds will get a lot better. Drop a like and subscribe if you liked it. Hit the notification bell to see our frequent uploads as soon as they come out, and I will see you all in the next one.